Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Bunky Cook here, aka your Lonely Achievement Guide, continuing our From Zero to 1000 Achievement Hunting series with On the Road, the Truck Simulator. On the Road, the Truck Simulator was published by Aerosoft and developed by Toxtronics. Initially, it released on the 11th of February of 2021 and is currently purchasable for a price of $29.99. Of course, your currency may vary by your region. I do not recommend paying $30 for this game. It is not worth it. Wait for a sale if you can. It's not terrible, as in everything functions, but there's not a lot to the game beyond that. It doesn't explain any of the mechanics in the game. It doesn't. Uh, there's no tutorial for anything. You have to learn everything on your own, and a lot of the UI and interactions with the map and stuff like that can be very complicated to figure out on your own. So that's why I'm making this video. Uh, I do want to say right off the bat, I want to thank iManuBAD IT. I'm sure I butchered that gamer tag, and I do apologize, but um, iManuBAD IT wrote a walkthrough for the game on TrueAchievements. Now, I'm making this video because I also had some trouble following along with the walkthrough because there's no visual indication of what you're supposed to do. Everything is in text except for certain aspects of the guide, like the glitch that we'll be going over. But the method that was described in the walkthrough was not exact. It did not work for me the way it was written in the walkthrough. So I'm going to make a video essentially detailing a walkthrough of the game with a couple differences here. I'm building off of his, I believe it's his walkthrough. Excuse me if I'm wrong, but and I am just going to be showing you exactly the method I used to get to the 1000G. As I said before, 75 hours, if I said that. You're probably looking at about 75 hours for the 1000G, and it's going to take about 55 to 60 hours of hands-off grinding. You may get it done in about 70, depending on how well you pick everything up, but you're looking at between 70 and 75 as a pretty reliable estimate for how long you're going to be spending, and 60 of it is going to be spent just letting the game run on its own. So I want to let you know right off the bat, if you don't or can't let your Xbox run on its own for 60 hours and really care about completions, this game is not for you. You're going to be getting probably about 860 gamer score in between 10 to 15 hours, depending on how well you pick everything else up. And then the last three achievements are going to take an extra hour, an extra 11 hours, and an extra 55 to 60 hours. So that's how it's going to work out for us. We're going to go ahead and go through the achievement list here. You have to create a second save game, entirely fill up your gas tank, reach levels 1, 3, 7, and 10, hire drivers for the company, own 2 motor vehicles and 2 trailers, 3 motor vehicles, 5 motor vehicles and 5 trailers, and 9 motor vehicles and 9 trailers, excuse me. And then you need to buy specific trailers. So there's a drawbar, a tandem, a semi-trailer, and a Gigaliner road train combination. All of these achievements become unlocked as you level up. So once you reach level 10, you will have enough slots along the way at some point to hire 6 drivers. You will eventually have unlocked enough slots to purchase 9 trucks and 9 trailers, allowing you to purchase all these different trailers. The method we're going to be using to get to level 10 exploits the game a little bit. And again, I want to thank iManuBAD IT for sharing his method. But as I said, he recommended doing it all in one go, and you cannot do that anymore. I don't know if the game was updated since his walkthrough was published, or if there was just maybe I'm stupid and I don't read the walkthrough properly. But I wanted to show off exactly what you're going to need to do in order to boost up to level 10 and purchase all these other vehicles. Below that, we have the 3 achievements for owning a vehicle with a certain mileage. It starts at 10,000 kilometers, 100,000 kilometers, and 500,000 kilometers. And this is where the glitch is going to come in. The glitch happens in Frankfurt. You drive off of the road north of Frankfurt and you fall into the map. And again, credit to iManuBAD IT. As far as I am aware, he is the one who discovered the glitch, and we will be using it because driving for 500,000 kilometers on your own using the actual roads is going to probably take you 500,000 hours. I kid, but you're going to be driving for hundreds of hours to get this legitimately. The glitch makes it possible in, as I said, about 55 to 60 hours depending. For me, it took 56 hours and 15 minutes. So however long it takes for you is, it might take 56:15. I don't know how much variation there is in travel time in the glitch. The first achievement should take you less than an hour. The second one unlocked for me at 12 hours, which doesn't make any sense to me because 100K should be exactly a fifth of 500K, but instead of taking 60 hours to get to 500K, then it only took me 57. So I'm not sure what the distance threshold is for the glitch, but I don't think I can accurately predict it. Maybe you'll get lucky and it'll go 57 hours for you. Maybe it'll go less, or it could potentially take a little bit longer, which is why I have an area of projected time to spend on the 1000G. The next achievement is for getting caught by a speed camera. We're just going to run a red light for that one. Perfectionist. Nobody is perfect. At least I delivered it. And total loss are for damage thresholds, delivering an assignment. And I'm going to show you how to get all 4 of these relatively simply. In fact, you might think the perfectionist is going to be the most difficult when the total loss is going to be the most frustrating, simply because you have to find enough ways to damage your vehicle. We also have the final 3 achievements, which are the Good Combiner, Planner, and Logistics Specialist achievements, which are for combining assignments to reach a certain percentage of your vehicle's maximum load. And again, I have a very simple solution for getting those 3 achievements. I do want to get in, go back to the distance or mileage achievements here and say there are 2 methods for doing this. I'm going to be showing you the first one on video, and if there are requests for the second one, then I will either create a video or write up a text walkthrough for the second one. But the second one requires you to have 2 consoles, 2 Xboxes, and the second one also requires you to have your console set as to the home console. And again, if you want me to go into detail about that, I will. I can't test it, though, because I already got the achievement on the profile that owns the game. So I can't test to see if this method works, so I don't want to spread it out and say it's possible without knowing for certain. So if I'm not going to include it in this video walkthrough, but if there are requests for the information, if it would work, it would allow you to play this game offline doing the glitch for 60 hours while you could still be playing other games on a secondary console. So that's why I wanted to mention it, but I'm not going to be showing this in this video. If you would like to figure or find out about that alternate method that may work for you, again, you'll need a second Xbox One or Series S or X. You'll need to make one of the consoles your home console, and just let me know if you're interested in that information, and I will do my best to either make another video or write it out in text for you so you can follow along. Um, and there you have it. That's all of the achievements. We're going to go ahead and jump right in and get started. So none of this information matters. You can choose whatever you want for player name and company name, image, company, and truck brand. But for headquarters, we need to choose Berlin, which it is the default, so you could spam through it and you'd be fine. Hit accept and it will start loading everything up for us. Once the loading screen is done, you're going to get a notification about getting a cattle trailer. You're also going to want to put that in Berlin. So you just got to wait through the loading screen. And again, it defaults to Berlin. Just make sure that you are putting your cattle trailer in Berlin, and you will be brought into this menu. You can ignore this, so press B, and you're going to hit X. In the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little HUD or GPS. At the top of it, you'll see there's a red circle there. When we hit X, the red circle disappears. That's because X is our emergency brake. So you may have to hold or hit X every time you re-enter your vehicle, so because sometimes the game automatically puts on the e-brake or parking brake for you. We're going to go ahead. We need to turn on the ignition now. So hit down on the D-pad. You're going to hit A to select the ignition and hit A again to ignition up, and you'll see some lights turn on behind you. Your vehicle might move forward a little bit because we don't have the parking brake engaged, but don't worry about it. Now we're going to back out. Hit down on the D-pad again, hit down and go to tachograph. I'm probably mispronouncing that. And you're going to hit A once on each of these. So you're going to hit A to insert your card. You're going to hit A to change mode. And you're going to hit A to accept. And this, I don't know the meaning behind it. Maybe there is some system like that in actual trucking, but essentially it's just putting your information in so that you're being credited for your driving, I guess. So that's how you do it. If throughout your game time you need to rest, you're going to go back into this menu and you're going to hit A to change mode, and then you're going to hit accept, and you'll rest for like 9 hours, I think. And then you can do the same thing. You'll have to change the mode and accept so that you can drive again and insert your card and reignite your ignition and start over again. Again, this is very basic and simple. I'm trying to explain as much as I can because the game doesn't do a good job of doing it. You almost never deal with any of these other options, so don't worry about them. And with that done, we're good to go. You can use the right analog pushing the stick in to change your viewpoint. I prefer having the over at the top, but you can use whatever you like. Right trigger accelerates, left trigger brakes and reverses. But once you're ready, pull out and take a right here. And at the end of this road is an intersection. We need to turn left, but we're also going to floor it because we need to run a red light to get our first achievement. And even if the light's not red, just keep driving. And it wasn't. You might get the achievement there, but you might not. Depends on if the game is being kind to you. Eventually you will run a red light because we don't care too much. There we go. We were able to run that one. There's their first achievement for getting caught by a speed camera. I think they're only at red lights, but I could be wrong. So just run a red light and you'll get that achievement. Pull into the gas station here, and you just need to stop your vehicle inside the green rectangle. When the petrol station notification pops up on the bottom right, you're in the right place. You're going to jump out, and underneath where the trailer hooks up, you'll see this gas tank light up green. Just hold the A button, and after a couple of seconds, you will fill the entire thing up, and you will get your second achievement. Eventually. Takes a bit. They have big tanks. There we go. So now, what we need to do, we need to find the sideways B logo. Bruto, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it. We need to get to that. So we're going to take a right out of the gas station and then take a left and just follow the road until we get to the Bruto station. You may be able to pick up an assignment if you want to do that to make it easier, but this isn't a very it's not a very complex navigation here. It was very weird. It would not let me drive forward. Now I can. I'm not sure why. Sometimes that happens. I think with the gear shift, sometimes you get caught in like reverse 2 or reverse 3, and you may just have to back up a little bit. Especially at the gas station, because the petrol station notification overrides your GPS, so you can't see what the gear shift is at. So if that ever happens where you can't drive forward, just back up a little bit. Or tap the left trigger a couple of times to try to change the gear. As you can see, we're just running red lights left and right. And once you get over here, this is the sideways B logo. We're going to jump over to the back here. All of these areas are basically hubs for picking up and dropping off items. As you can see, there's a loading dock back there, and once we pick a load, there will be a large yellow box here for us to back our vehicle up to the loading dock to load it up. So what we need to do is go into the map, right trigger zooms in, left trigger zooms out, and we need to go near the Bruto logo and press A. And you'll see available assignments pop up. What we need to look for right now is a 6 times 200, and that is usually a fast food load. And we don't see any. Now, there are two options here, one of which is slower. So you could go down and hit next and just keep looking for the 6 times fast food. And you might eventually find it. As you can see there, we got a 6 times fast food, 6 times 200 down below there. That's what we're looking for. Go ahead and accept that. And now we have our route. And as you can see, we're going to pick up the fast food, and our load will be at 15% of our maximum load. And then we'll deliver to the Nuremberg easy tank, and we'll be at 0%. What we need to do is go back to the sideways B logo, press A on it again. And as you can see, we now have some more contracts to pick up. Now, I'm going to show you the faster way to skip through and get new contracts. Just keep hitting A. You don't have to go to different, hit next down at the bottom and go through. You can just hit A on the logo on the map, and it will give you new contracts every time. So that's what we're going to be doing from now on. The next thing we need to find is another 6 by 200 fast food. We already had one, but I did skip it just to prove a point. So there we go. We found another one. So hit A and hit yes. And now we need to find one last load, a 10 by 200. So again, go by the B logo. Make sure it's a 10 by 200 fast food. There we go. Grab that. And what we're going to do is, just to prove the point, hit up on the blue pickup to move it below the other pickup, and hit up on the white or yellow pickup to move it up here, and you'll see that our percentage is at 58%. That means we are over the 70% or 50% that we needed to combine a load to get an achievement. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to back up. Don't worry too much about running and backing up into the loading dock. Just back up slowly until it turns green. And you can hit A to exit out. Now, some areas this will be more difficult, but you're always going to have to run into this. It's either going to be a half circle like it is here, or a full circle of arrows. That is where you pick up and drop off the documents for your loads. You'll always have to do this. So first things first, you get out of the truck, you find the circle, run in and accept, and then you're going to go to the back of your truck and you're going to open up the cargo doors. And after they're all the way open, your stuff gets loaded on, and you will unlock your first achievement for being a good combiner and reaching 50% of your vehicle's maximum payload. Once you do, go back to your map, go back to the B logo in Berlin, hit A next to it again, and this time we need to find an 8 by 200 fast food. So just keep going through until you get an 8 by 200 fast food. There we go. We'll purchase that. We're gonna back out here, but just for proof, we're gonna bring this up. We're gonna try. Come on, controller. There we go. And you'll see we're at 79% there. That'll be over the 70% required for the 70% of your maximum load achievement. So run into the half circle again, accept the documents, and you'll get the planner achievement for combining enough assignments to reach 70% of your vehicle's payload. And now we need to do it one more time. Go back to the B logo, and we're going to look for a 6 by 200. There's one right there. We're going to hit yes. And just one more time to prove we're going to be over 90%. We'll be at 94, so back out. Run into the half circle, accept your documents, and unlock your achievement. The logistics specialist for combining assignments to reach 90%. And so now we have all of those achievements done. We're going to focus on the achievements for delivering a load with the certain damage thresholds. So what we're going to do is go back to our map. We're going to hit X on all of these and cancel them. It is a very small penalty, so not worth worrying about. And once you have all of them gone, you're going to go back to the B logo. Now what we're looking for is the currency on the side here. We need to find a currency that is in the less than 1,000. Because we need to find one that is going to bring us to this logistics hub in Berlin. Very quick, very simple, easy to avoid taking damage on a load that quick. And this is where hitting the A button is going to come in handy instead of just hitting next. You just want to keep skipping, and this might take a really long time. Don't fret if it does, but as you can see here, we have a 335 currency delivery that goes from the Brutto discount in Berlin to the logistic hub in Berlin, and we're going to be picking that up. And as you can see, we just need to drive down to the logistics hub. So what we're going to do is, once again, run into the half circle of arrows. You'll notice we have a load. We're going to close the cargo doors here, get back into our truck. You'll have to hit the X button to release the emergency brake, or parking brake. And now we just need to follow the green arrow, or green line on the GPS to our location. We only have 18 kilometers or 19 kilometers to drive, but you do need to be very cautious. This is going to be the load that we don't take any damage. So when you get up here, just stop, wait for a break in traffic, and then pull out. You want to drive very slowly. You want to obey the rules of the road, because any % of damage will cause you to not get the 0% achievement. And the AI drivers are insanely stupid. So it is best to try to drive the proper way. We're not doing that because we sat there long enough for it to be safe. But if you think you can get away with driving illegally and not hit anything, feel free to go for it. This is a very short contract, so it's not like you're failing, something that you've driven for 2 hours. But you do want to be cautious running red lights, because other traffic will be coming through the intersections, and you don't want to get hit, obviously. We're going for the perfection achievement, or whatever it's called, not getting any %. So just be careful when you get up to a red light. That one specifically, you can't see if any traffic is coming from the left side. And continue on up to here. Hey, it looks like that was a speed camera. So I was wrong earlier. They are apparently littered throughout the level as well, but you can just get the achievement by running a red light, and that's much simpler. So be careful up here, because traffic comes from the right side and does not stop. So be careful when you come through here, and you're going to want to slow down up here because you have to turn right, and it can be difficult to do that around traffic if the traffic is stopped here. Luckily, we have a green light, so we're just going to take a right. And we don't have much further to go. As you can see down in the corner, only 2 kilometers left. We just need to take a left up there. Just make sure there's no oncoming traffic so you don't get hit. And pull in here, and you need to back up to the loading dock. Be cautious, but you don't need to be super careful. You're going to be backing up at a slow enough speed that backing up into the loading dock doesn't give you any significant damage, but just be careful when you're backing up. There you go. Once it turns green, hit A to pop out. You're going to run over to this half circle, or here it's a circle, and now you need to open up your delivery. So open the cargo doors, you'll get credit for bringing it, and you can see the damage is 0% there, and we get the Perfectionist achievement for delivering an assignment without any damage. That is the second most frustrating one, behind the 100% damage. But now that we have that out of the way, we're going to go to the map and near the logistics hub, and we're going to do the same thing we were doing before. Press A until we have a delivery from the logistics hub back to the Bruto. And as you can see, there we go, the logistic hub in Berlin to the Bruto discount in Berlin. Go ahead and grab that load. Press B to back out, run into the circle to get your documents and get it loaded, and then close your cargo doors. And now we need to follow the path back again to Bruto. And this time, we don't have to worry as much about taking damage. We need to be under 10%, so I'm going to show you real quick. If you run into a wall here, you'll see in the GPS it says load damaged 1%. Now, I highly recommend being cautious, because if you run into 2 or 3 things in a row, the GPS doesn't update very well. So you're better off like running into one car and then seeing, okay, I took 3% damage, and then running into another car, I took another 3%. If you try running into multiple things at once, you may overshoot their damage threshold that you're aiming for. So I just run into something right off the bat, and then I try to drive relatively carefully back home. But again, don't worry too much about taking damage. You do have the ability to take 10%. And even if you go over on this run, you'll just unlock the 50% achievement when you deliver, so it's not a huge deal. But the damage, as I said, pops up on the GPS, as we saw, and you have to add that up in your head, kind of, to figure out where your damage is at any moment. So we should only be at 1% once we drop off this load, unless we hit something else on the way back. We're gonna take a look here, make sure. There is no way to check your damage while you're driving, as far as I'm aware. So you're just gonna have to keep an eye on the GPS. And again, running red lights doesn't mean anything, so just keep doing it. Even if there is a fine associated with it, the speed of running red lights outweighs problems, and that was actually dumb of me. I should have gone a different direction. Once you back up, again, run into the half circle, open up your cargo doors, cargors, as we call them in the business, and you will drop off your delivery. As you can see, we got 1% damage, and we get the nobody is perfect for a max of 10%. Once again, go to your map, find the B logo, and we need to find another $100 or so contract back to the logistics hub, and we're going to pick that up again, run into the arrows, close the cargo doors. Come on, there we go. Press X to unleash the parking brake, and we're going to drive forward. And now we need to get over 10% damage. Now, you do need to stay under 50, but that shouldn't be a problem on such a short route. What I recommend doing is just, while you're driving, if you see oncoming traffic, try to sideswipe it. Or parked cars. Parked cars are rather good for this too. As you can see, we took 3 damage there. We're going to run up here. We got 5% from that, so we should be around 8. I try to sideswipe them to keep my momentum going. It's very easy to... You would think you'd get more damage thresholds and higher percents from running head-on into things, but more often than not, you get like 1% more, but you lose all of your momentum from a head-on collision. And to really drive up your damage percents, you want to keep running into things. So as you can see, we sideswiped that truck and got 6%, another 6%. It's not a bad idea to practice. Just make sure you're staying below the 50% threshold, because on the next journey, we need to get to 100%. And that can be frustrating, because we're doing it on the same route, and it's kind of a short route, so... But once you're positive you are over 10% damage, you can just finish out your run. Again, just positive you're over 10% and positive you are under 50%, and you can finish your travels. I do recommend trying to avoid buildings, because buildings tend to have like little walls on them and stuff like that that'll stop your momentum. That's why sideswiping cars, in my opinion, is kind of the best way, because you can still keep your momentum going. But, once again, get out. Go to that, open up your cargo doors, and once the end of delivery screen pops up, you see we took 23% damage and we got the At Least I Delivered It achievement. And now we just have the final damage achievement, which will take us a little bit, but once again, go to the logistic hub in Berlin and keep looking for 100-some currency contract that will bring you back to the Brutto discount. Once you find it, grab it. You need to run into the arrows to get it loaded and then close your cargo doors. Once you do that, you can return to your truck. Let go of the e-brake, and we're going to start driving. Now, you need to be very careful here. As I said before, sometimes the damage percents pop up if you hit too many things right in a row and you may not notice it. You want to be... There's 4%. You want to try to add up your damage to like 120% just to make sure that you are over the 100% before you turn it in. So what we're going to do is we're just going to try to run into all of the vehicles. We got 3% there, so we should be at 7. And again, sideswiping is better because you can keep your momentum. We hit that and it lost all of our momentum, and it's very frustrating. We got 9% there, and it'll get better once we start driving faster. Parked cars are a great idea. We got 12%. You would think those signs right there might be a good idea, but they stop you flat. Those things are strong. There's 16%. There's 19. There's 25. I'm going to take a left here. This is the road where, well, not quite where the Brutto is, but 27. When we take a right here, this is the road that Brutto is on, and we're just going to do kind of laps around this until we get to the 100%. We missed that car. But again, just kind of try to sideswipe some trucks if you can. Oh, we failed. Got 33% from that. We're going to take a left here. We're going to be driving circles kind of until we get the 100%. There's 36%. 39%. As I said, this is a bit more frustrating because you have to get your damage up to 100%. If you finish the contract at 99%, you don't get credit. So think we're about at 47%. Like I said, you're going to want to be at about 120% in your head just to make sure that you're at the proper percent. But running into anything that, like a building or stuff like that, makes it very difficult, so I don't recommend doing that. 51%. And we're just going to keep going. 53. I'm going to show you the entirety of this. I know at this point I could just run away and come back, but 56. There was a collision earlier that we hit multiple things at once, and I think we got credit for everything, but I'm not entirely sure. So I'm just kind of erring on the side of caution so we don't have to do this again. There we go. There's 63. 64. The trees are a problem. The other thing you can potentially do, 65, is you could stay on this road straight and head out to this other, toward this other gas station. The reason being, once you get out towards the gas station, there's you can just drive off the road and you actually take damage. However, it's rather small damage, so it's not really worth doing. There's 71%. 75. I'll just show you right here. Once you get out here, 79, just driving off the side of the road. So 82 can cause damage, but you do kind of run out of road out here very quickly. 86. And we're actually going to turn around here and head back in. It's a matter of personal preference. What are you looking to do? How do you want to do it? There's 92. 95. 102. 105. 112. 116. And we're probably pretty well set here, so there's 120, and I think we're probably good there, so we're just going to return back to the Bruto building, which is just down the street from where we're at. We'll finish that off and hopefully be at 100%. I think we're well over 100%, but again, I like to err on the side of caution so we don't have to do that entire process again. It's not so much that it's difficult, it's just a lot more time consuming than any of the other damage threshold achievements. Now we just back up. don't have to be cautious. You could back up directly into the cement there. And just like always, run into the circle, accept the documents, and open the cargo doors. And moment of truth. 100%. And there is the total loss achievement for getting or delivering an assignment with full damage. So, real quick, we're going to go through the achievement list again. What do we have left? We need to create a second save game. Level 10, 6 drivers, all motor vehicles and trailers. And we need the 3 distance achievements. There are only 2 things we have left to do in reality. We are going to go to start the method to getting to level 10 so that we can purchase all of those other fancy things. And then, real quick, I just wanted to point out, you might have noticed I wasn't driving forward. If you watch the gear shift, if you go back and watch, I was stuck on reverse 1 and driving or pressing the accelerator didn't change my gear. I had to press reverse again and then press drive to change my gear. But to get back to my original thought, excuse me. From this point on, we're going to be doing the method that allows us to get to level 10 quickly. Kind of exploits the game a little bit, but hopefully it doesn't get patched out. And to do that, we need to go get that other truck that we purposely had delivered to Berlin. So go onto the map with your cursor, select it, then hit A and add this truck to the route. And this will bring us back to where we just were, honestly. You're going to take a left out of here. And get back onto the road. And you're just going to go straight for a bit. We actually went right past the turnoff while I was showing you all the damage threshold stuff, but it's not very far. We're going to pick up our cattle trailer, and that is the truck we're going to be using for the rest of our playthrough here. We are going to, once we get to level 10 and purchase all of the trucks and trailers and hire all the employees to get all those other achievements, we're going to start a new game, and we're going to use that new game to do the glitch. Because in this playthrough, the majority of your miles are going to come from your cattle trailer, and the cattle trailer, I was not able to get up into the glitch. So we're just going to combine and try to streamline everything as we do here at Lag Walkthroughs. So this is the turnoff. We're going to take a right, and for the rest of the game you will be taking these little turnoffs to farm pickups. So we're going to go ahead and park this trailer and truck kind of just off into the corner over here. Once you do, well, at least it let us get over that. We have our new trailer here. As you can see, this is significantly longer than the one we were just using. You're going to go ahead, get inside, and you're going to need to do all of the ignition and driver card stuff again. So hit A and turn on the ignition, then back up, go to tachograph, hit A, and hit A, and now you're good to go. We need to pick up some pigs. And this is where it gets a little frustrating. Backing up this trailer is much more difficult than the trailer we started with. And what we need to do is go to the map, and all of these areas are farms. Now, it's kind of hard to see the logo there, but just get the cursor nearby like you did with the B logo and press A. On the left there, you'll see we have available assignments. We have a bunch of pigs. What we need to find right now is we need to find the highest amount of pigs that are going to Magdeburg. So what I recommend doing, and unfortunately we had one show up right away, but I recommend never taking a load of pigs that is less than 40 and you always have to take the pigs that are going to Magdeburg. So what we're going to do is just keep pressing A until Magdeburg shows up. Magdeburg, like this one, shows up. But we also need to make sure we have more than 40 pigs. Now, 39 isn't too bad, so if you want to take a 39, feel free. We're just trying to maximize the amount of pigs we're getting with every delivery. So now that you have that one, go back in and do it again. Find the next Berlin to Magdeburg. We got another 39. That's fine. I wouldn't go any lower than like 37. Just, you need to keep doing this now, over and over and over again. You're going to be able to do it, I think, like 12 times or something like that before the game tells you have too many loads, and we will take care of that once we figure that out. But for now, just keep skipping through, finding all of the Magdeburgs that are over 40 pigs. If you've noticed a couple of times probably that there's been more than one Magdeburg, they're always going to be the same amount of pigs if they show up on the same page. So if a 41 Magdeburg shows up on the top of the page, if a 27 Magdeburg, shows up on the top of the page, there's no sense in searching the rest of the page because the rest of them will be the 27. And we're looking for a lot of pigs. The more, the better. It will save us a little bit of time overall by maximizing the amount of pigs in each load. I actually think I overestimated. I think we're going to be doing this 9 or 10 times. Maybe 11. But Magdeburg is kind of the longest name and destination, city title. So Magdeburg is easy to pick up when you're skipping ahead. And I know this is a little boring, but this is what you're going to be doing for the majority of your time left, actually. Ah, shoot, went too fast, I think. It was a Magdeburg. And I missed it. There was another one. I'm a little bit too tired for this. Okay, Magdeburg, 3528. If there's a 49, we'll take that one. But wait, you cannot add any more assignments to this driver. That is our cue. We need to drive forward now, and we need to back up into that little section to get our trailer loaded up. And as I said, this is a lot more difficult to back up with this trailer. So, what I recommend doing is turning the camera around. And you just have to get used to the controls because it mirrors them and it can be difficult. And I think we're going to be off by a little bit. Yep, darn. Like I said, it can be a little more difficult to get this backed up inside properly, so good enough. Once it turns green, you're good to go. Like always, you need to run over to the circle here and select the freight documents, and then you run over to your trailer and hit A on the back portion. Once that's down, you run in and open the gate. Now, this is not lined up properly, but luckily it doesn't need to be. Once it's set, you'll see pigs coming out. And unfortunately, you're going to be sitting here for a while. You're going to have 40-some pigs coming out to load up your truck. And you might think, well, shouldn't we grab less pigs so that less pigs are running out? The problem is the real time spent in this method is driving between cities. And you want to maximize your loads so you can potentially cut down on the amount of loads you need to drive from one city to another. In my estimations, loading the pigs took 20 to 25 minutes, having to go through all the contracts and load up the pigs. Unloading takes a little bit less time because it's very quick, just 15 minutes or so to unload all of the pigs. But as you can see, our last pig walked up, and we'll just show you what I mean here. Now that our first load is done, we hit OK, and our second load of pigs starts walking out. And we're going to have to do this for every load of pigs. So this is going to be a while. I'm not going to show you all of this because this is boring and dumb, but once every load comes out, you hit A to confirm, and you can actually check your progress, because once you have picked up the pigs, the pickup will disappear. So once you get to the point where all you have are delivery pigs, then every load has gone through. You can also just keep up to date by watching them. If no more pigs are coming out once you confirm a contract, that means you are done. So I will go away for a quick second here, and I will rejoin you once all the pigs are loaded. Welcome back, folks. So the reason why pickup takes a little bit longer than delivery is because the current route screens here have a maximum of 4 pages. And when you have a pickup and delivery on each page, actually it may be 3 pages, I can't remember off the top of my head. But when you have a pickup and delivery, you can't add any more contracts because the current route reaches the maximum contracts that it can have listed on your route. That's why delivery takes longer, because you have to wait then for the all of your pickups to happen, and then you can come back in and you can add more. But you have to wait until all the other deliveries are done, otherwise you don't have room on the current route screen to add more contracts. So what we have to do now is go back in and add more Berlin to Magdeburg contracts, again making sure you're trying to grab them when they are over 40 pigs. Not giving us a lot of Magdeburgs here. There we go. There's a 40. Just a real quick shortcut. If you go over one of these and it brings you to the delivery, you can go roll over the pickup and it'll bring you back to Berlin on the map rather than having to zoom out and go over to Berlin. It's just a really quick shortcut. But unfortunately, if you get to a point where, I don't know why that does that automatically, but if you get to a point where you don't have any more pickups on the map and you accidentally go to your delivery, you'll have to zoom out on the map and zoom back into your original location, wherever that may be. There's some 40s. I should have taken that one. That was 38. There we go, 44. Okay, again, so it is, you only have 3 pages of room. So what we need to do now is we need to let these 1, 2, 3, 4 pickups happen. So we need to run over to the circle again, and since everything is open, the pigs will start loading again. And now we gotta wait for 4 more loads of pigs to get onto the vehicle. And once again, I will rejoin you once the loads are done. And with those loads done, we need to repeat the process a couple more times. So go in, get close to your logo, and we need to find another couple loads of pigs, 2 more. So 1 more after that one. Heading to Magdeburg. And now we back out and we let the pigs load, and I will rejoin you when the 2 loads are done. And finally, once those 2 loads are done, we need to add 1 more. So run in and add 1 more load. And I apologize, it is not finally. We will have to add 1 more after this one is done, and I will rejoin you when it is. And with that done, we can now add 1 more contract. We need to find 1 more Berlin to Magdeburg with 40 some pigs. Once we do, and this is why loading takes significantly longer than unloading, because unloading you can just unload all of them right in a row. Loading them you have to keep waiting for them to finish so you can add more. Once you get this down, it happens significantly faster, but I am going through rather slow just so you guys and gals get the understanding of what is going on here. They don't want us to bring any pigs to Magdeburg here, do they? There's 38. We'll accept it. And there we go. That is the last load of pigs. We will get them onto the trailer, and I will rejoin you when they are ready to go. And we're back. No more loads to add, so we're going to run up here. We need to close that gate, and we need to close the rear of the cargo transport there. Once it's done, we can get back into our truck, and we're going to drive off to Berlin. So I'm not going to show you the entirety of my drive to Berlin. I'm going to stick with you for a couple minutes here. Because this drive isn't one we're going to make, and it's kind of just a waste of time to keep going over that. We're actually going to be going from this point on from Magdeburg, which is our location here, to Hanover. So we're going to be driving back and forth over and over and over again until we're leveling up. Each trip approximately will get you. Well, the first couple of trips are going to get you levels because the XP meter isn't the same for every level. So it takes a little bit more experience to get to level 1 than it does level. That's weird. Why is our GPS is gone for some reason? Yeah, that's never happened before. Well, we're going to take a left out of this, but we do need to be careful about making sure that we don't run into anything. Even the slightest amount of damage can take thousands of dollars off of our total, because it'll be damage to each pig. Unfortunately, the game is really dumb, and you can see it just keeps spawning in vehicles on this little side road. Which means we don't have a choice. We have to pull out. We could sit there waiting all day, and we may never get out of there. We need to go fuel up. We have absolutely no fuel left in our vehicle. If you remember correctly, or remember when we started the game, we also started with a vehicle with no fuel, and this is the cattle trailer, which also starts with barely any fuel. So we need to stop by the gas station here. Once again, just refuel. The tank is usually underneath where the trailer hooks up to the cab of the truck. And once you're fueled, you can drive forward. Now, this should be easier for you. I'm not entirely sure why my GPS disappeared, but unfortunately it did. So we're going to have to make the drive without having our GPS up. I promise you it is significantly easier than with the GPS than without, and I promise you that that's not supposed to happen. I don't know why my GPS is gone, but none of my buttons are bringing it back, so I guess we're stuck. So I'm not going to have you watch me drive without a parking brake, or without GPS all the way. GPS does show up inside the truck, but it is significantly more difficult to drive inside the truck, in my opinion. So, I'm just going to rejoin you. We're going to head over to Magdeburg. Just follow the green line. If this does happen to you, you may just have to tough it out. Unfortunately, I don't know that there's a way to fix it. So, but we're going to drive over to Magdeburg, and I will rejoin you once we have. Welcome back, ladies and gents. We've made it to Magdeburg. We're going to go ahead and unload. I did a much better job of backing up this time. I should have recorded that. We're going to go ahead and open up the two gates inside, and we're going to see how much faster it unloads than unloads. All you have to do is open the gates and then drop off the freight documents. If you noticed on the freight document screen, we have 17 loads of pigs to unload. It's going to be similar to when they were loading in Berlin. After every load, you'll have to press A to confirm. But you can unload all 17 right in a row. You don't have to add more contracts or anything like that. And with every unload, and I'll wait until the first one is done here. With every unload, you're going to get XP towards a level up. And this is why this kind of glitches the game, because I think you're only supposed to be able to grab one load of pigs at a time. But for some reason, we're able to get 17. And it's going to take you probably 15 to 20 loads. Or, excuse me. We finished the... As you can see, we almost jumped up to half of level 0 just from the one load. We did take 3% damage, but it was impossible to see. But you can see we took 3% damage, and it cost us 174 euros off of every load. And that's why being cautious when you're driving is very important. Because we're going to lose, 17 times... We're going to lose like 3,000 euros, more than likely, simply because of the 3% damage we took on the trip. We also lose reputation, which I believe is what relates to leveling up. So it is important to drive carefully, but it's not a massive deal if you take damage. But anyways, we did one load there. I'm going to show you the second load coming off and the third load just so we get to level 1. And then I'll rejoin you when we're done unloading. But this is all you're going to be doing. In the original guide that I had used, it said to try to load 34 pages worth of pigs, and it no longer lets you get past page 3. Now, again, I don't know if that was a mistake when writing or if the game has been updated since the walkthrough was written. I don't mean any disrespect to iManuBAD IT, but I wanted to make this video to make the directions more clear about what you're supposed to do. Because it took me 2 or 3 hours to figure out all these achievement solutions on my own. So we're going to have the second load done. You'll see we almost went up to level 1 from that. And again, the reputation required to get to the next level is going to increase exponentially. By the time you reach level 9, it's going to take you probably 2 or 3 entire trips of 17 loads to get to the next level. You're probably looking at about 15 trips in total to get to level 10. That's not an exact amount. It really does depend on how many pigs you get in your loads. That's why I recommend going for 40 or higher to try to minimize. You might wind up having to make an extra trip if that happens. And because of the loading and unloading, you're looking at about 45 to 50 minutes per trip. So that includes loading the pigs, traveling to the next, to the unloading spot and unloading the pigs and then repeating the process. It's probably going to take you about 50 minutes per run. And if you need to do it about 15 times, that's why I estimate you're looking at about between 10 and 15 hours to get all of the achievements except for the 500,000 kilometers. And there we go. We got our first achievement, first level achievement. And this is all you do over and over again until all of the loads are done. And I will rejoin you once all of the loads have unloaded. Hello, ladies and gents. I'm just popping back in real quick because we're about to reach level 3 with this next load. As you can see, we still have 6 more deliveries to drop off. We're not quite going to make it to level 4 with our first run, unfortunately, but we made it up to level 3. And again, from this point on, it does get a little bit more difficult to level up. But that's why we're focusing on getting the loads of 40 pigs instead of just getting the loads of 20. That way we're maximizing each trip and loading and unloading session instead of having to sit around for 25 minutes to unload half of as many pigs after driving across the country. Here we go, level 3. Once again, I will let these last 5 loads unload and I will rejoin you when they're done. Welcome back again, ladies and gents. This is the final load of pigs, just jumping back in to kind of get into the habit of talking before the load is over. We're not going to make it to level 4, but once this load is done, we are going to go through the shopping achievements. Employees, trucks, and trailers, of course. There we go. Again, from now on, try to be perfect if you can, because, again, we would have made another $3,000, which is basically half of a load for us just by being perfect, and it might have gotten us up to another level, although I'm not sure if that's entirely accurate. But once we have that load done, now we need to load up our pigs again. We have $105,000, which isn't a whole lot. But at this point, we don't have a whole lot we can purchase. We still can't purchase anything until we get to level 4 for tractor or trucks. And we can purchase some trailers, and what you need to purchase are the drawbar trailer, the semi-box, the Gigaliner, and the tandem. Actually, I could be wrong. Let me just double check and make sure it's not this one. You might need to buy this one. Okay, so you do need to buy that one. I apologize. So you need to buy the semi-container, the drawbar, the Gigaliner, and the tandem. Those are the 4 trailers you will need to purchase. And then, actually, I'm just going to buy one of these right now, too, and get that out of the way. So you'll still need to buy the other 2 trailers. When you go to employees, you can buy whatever employee, or hire whatever employee you want. So for employees, what you can do is give them one of your trucks if you so desire, and then you can select contracts for them. You don't have to do this for the achievement. It will give you a little excess money if you so desire to do this. But what we're going to be doing is hiring employees whenever the slots open up. I can't remember when it is, but I don't think you have to wait until level 10 to hire 6 employees to get the hiring achievements. You do need to go all the way to level 10 to get 9 trucks. But the trailers unlock at level 7. By level 7, you can unlock 9 different trailers. I do recommend just purchasing I believe it's a rigid box semi whenever you purchase. That way you don't have to worry about a trailer. If you are going, I think it's one of the cheaper options as well. And if you are going to hire employees and have them do contracts for you, excuse me, what you need to do is have them assigned to a truck, and then you can change to them on this little drop-down menu. And then when they're changed, now you can go around and get them contracts. So like we can have them go and do that. And now we're good. Now they'll start working on a contract themselves, and we'll get a share of the money for doing so. We're actually kind of, I feel like, exploiting our employees, only paying them 1,300 currency euros once and then never paying them again. So you can do that if you want to do that, but it's not really necessary to go through and get all the achievements. As long as you when you go through and buy trailers, once you get the 4 achievements, buy the cheapest one. Same thing when you get new trucks. Just buy whatever the cheapest trucks are. You don't really need to have your other employees doing any work for you. So if you want to, feel free, but it's not required. So what we're going to be doing now is we still need to restart, reach level 7 and 10, hire 3 and 6 drivers, own 3, 5, and 9 trucks, and 5 and 9 trailers, buy a tandem trailer and a semi-trailer, and the Gigaliner road train combination. Oh, that means I was wrong. I apologize then. That first one I bought was incorrect. The semi-container trailer does not need to be purchased. So we need the drawbar. Let's try the semi-box. Okay, so the semi-box is the one you need to purchase. I apologize. So you need the semi-box, the drawbar. That's my fault. The tandem and the Gigaliner road train. Those are the 4 trailers you need to purchase. After that, buy the cheapest trailers, because there's no reason for you to be buying more than that. And same thing with the trucks. purchase the cheapest truck, which I believe is just the rigid box. And that will give you enough money to do whatever you need to do. Again, you can have your employees doing work to bring in the money as well. And then just keep checking the employee tab when you level up just to hire some more employees. You don't even need to use them. As I said, I believe it's a one-time 1,300 euro fee, so it's not really worth worrying about. You can hire them and just let them sit there. But what you're going to be doing from now on is just continuing to bring pigs back and forth. So there are 2 ways you can do this. And honestly, you could do this in multiple varieties from different cities if you really want to. We're going to be traveling to Hanover. So the farm in Hanover is like right about there, on that little point there. The farm in Leipzig, and I'm probably mispronouncing that, is down here. They're both about the same distance away, I think. It's entirely up to you which one you want to go through to. For the purposes of this, we're going to be doing Hanover. I've been doing Hanover my entire time. So you're going to do the same thing we were doing in Berlin. You're going to go in, and we need to find Hanover deliveries now. And when we do, we need to make sure that the Hanover deliveries are 40 pigs or more. Hanover is a little harder to pick up on, and we're not getting any of them. They're being very mean. There we go. There's a Hanover, but it's too small. And we're going to be doing this the same exact way we were in Berlin. We're going to keep loading up pigs over and over again, and to Hanover, hopefully with 40 or more on each load. Obviously, as I said before, I'm willing to do like 38 as the lowest. That's 37, so they decided to test me. There's 34, 23, and there's 48. And you're just going to keep doing this over and over and over again. And I'm not going to show this, but you're going to do the same thing we did from Berlin to Magdeburg. Once you load up, you need to, you can have like 9 loads, I think, load right now. Then you have to wait for the loads to load up, and then you can add 4 more, and then you can wait for those loads, and then you can add 2 more loads of pigs, and then you can add 1 more load, and then you can add 1 final load, and then you can drive off, and you're going to drive all the way over to Hanover and unload the pigs, just like we did here. Wait for all 17 loads to unload, and then you're going to repeat the process, except you're going to be going back to Magdeburg. So you'll go in, and you'll find contracts to Magdeburg, just like we did in Berlin, and then you'll do the same thing, get 9 loads of pigs, wait for them to unload, then you'll add 4 more, wait for them to unload, add 2 more, blah, 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 blah. And you're going to keep going back and forth between Hanover and Magdeburg over and over and over until you reach level 10. And once you reach level 10, you will be able to buy all of the trucks that you need for the achievements. You will be able to buy all of the trailers that you need for the achievements, and you will be able to hire all of the employees that you need for the achievements. And once you do that, the only achievements you will have left are to create a second save game and to travel 10,000, 100,000, and 500,000 kilometers. Now again, you are going to continue doing the pig loading over and over and over again until you reach all those other achievement milestones. I'm not going to be showing you all of that. That's an extra 15 hours, or probably closer to 10 hours now, of just nonsensical driving back and forth. It's not exciting. You get the idea of what we're going to be doing. What I'm going to show you now is what we're going to do once we have all those other achievements and only have the 4 achievements remaining for starting a second save game and for getting the 500,000 kilometers and distance achievements overall. And I do want to reiterate, there are 2 methods for doing this. The one where I'm going to be showing you is one where your console is online the whole time. And you're not going to be able to play anything else on your gamer tag or on that Xbox. If you sign into your gamertag on any other Xbox One or Series SX console, there's a very good chance that your game here will sign out of your profile and you will lose all of your progress. So this is very important. You are going to be leaving your console on for approximately 60 hours. It might be less than that. And you can't touch it. You can't sign into your profile on any other Xbox One or Xbox Series X console. You may be able to use the PC if you have PC games and have a PC capable of playing Xbox games. You may be able to sign in through the PC service, or you may be able to go back to an Xbox 360 and do that, but you can't do anything on the Xbox One or Series X or S or cloud gaming, anything like that. I can't guarantee that PC gaming works. I'm pretty sure Xbox 360 would, but again, I would test that before you go ahead and do it. In theory, you're going to be leaving your console alone for 60 hours, and you're not going to be able to attempt to play any other games for those 60 hours. So if you have another console, PlayStation, Switch, handheld, something like that, feel free to go outside, get some fresh air. Don't do that. Gamers don't do that. But you're not going to be able to touch your console. The second method involves needing two Xbox Ones, one of which will be your home console and the one you play offline. You also have to, that has to be the account that purchased the game as well in order to play it offline. And then you're going to be able then to connect a second Xbox to the internet and play it while you're running the glitch on your first console, your home console that is offline. If you are interested in that method, shoot me a message and I will write up step-by-step instructions for that and maybe do a video about that as well. But for now, we're going to follow along with the always online solution. That is the simplest, and that's the one I use to get the achievement. And so because of that, I can't test the offline method. So I don't want to recommend it because I can't test it myself. But if you are interested in trying it, shoot me a message and I will either put it up on my website or post another video detailing it. So with that done, imagine that you've been delivering pigs for 10 hours or so, and you're done. You got the level 10 achievement. You have purchased all of the trucks and trailers that you need and hired all the employees, and you're done. What you need to do now is go back to the main menu. Make sure you are done before you delete your save, because you can't go back once we delete it. So just make sure you have all the other achievements. You should only have 4 left at this point. You would have the create a second save game, and you would have the 3 mileage achievements here. If you are at 24 out of 28 achievements, then you are good to go right now. If you have any other achievement left, you need to figure out why, number one, and then go back and try to get it before moving on to this step, because we are deleting our first save file. So what you're going to do now, go to New Game, hit Yes. And again, none of this information matters except for Headquarters. So once you get to Headquarters, we need to go over to Frankfurt. Go ahead and select Frankfurt. You'll sit here for a couple of minutes. You'll get an achievement for restarting, and it's just got to load the entire map again. The cattle trailer can go wherever you want. It's easiest just to press A and send it to Frankfurt, but we're not going to be doing anything with it once we pop into the game here. And now we wait a little bit longer. I do recommend 2 things before you do this glitch. Number one, you need to have a wired controller. So if you have an Elite charging cable, you can hook up a Series S or X controller and use that. I don't recommend using the Elite because you are going to be rubber banding your analog for 57 hours. And if you it is entirely possible that could cause damage to your controller. So if you have a controller that's, kind of damaged or not working perfectly but can still be functional, a controller that you would rather have damaged, feel free to use it for this portion. Because I actually did this with my Elite. Not this specifically, but I did another rubber banding method with my Elite, and when I was done, I had stick drift. So just be careful with what controller you use for this. You're going to need a charge cable or a wired controller, and you're going to need a rubber band. So again, just pick wherever you want. Frankfurt is fine. We're going to ignore all of this stuff. All we need to do is ignite our vehicle and then hit A on all of the 3 tachograph options. Again, I'm probably mispronouncing that. Once you do, you're going to open up here and you're going to see we're right here. We're going to take a right. We're going to follow this all the way through, take a left up here, and we're going to take a right here. And when we do, we're actually going to drive around the outside of the road and up to here. And we're going to be driving out into the middle of here where the glitch is. So what we're going to do, again, we don't need to get gas. Don't worry about any of that. We're going to take a right here. And again, there's nothing extra here. You just need to start the new game and follow along with me. And as long as you do exactly as I do, you will be fine. You can run the red light. It doesn't matter. Taking damage at this point doesn't matter. Just drive on straight. And when we get to this next intersection over here, we're going to take a left. Oh no. A little reckless. I think we're okay. We're going to take a left. And again, you don't need to go to the gas station. It does not make any difference whatsoever in this glitch. I will warn you, the glitch does bork your save. You won't be able to use it again. Once we get up to this intersection, we're going to take a right. And we're going to go right off the road here. Right where this sign is, we're going to drive in between these two. Try to get your speed up if you can. We have to climb that hill over there in the back. I could not do this with the cattle trailer, which is why we start a new save file to get the smaller truck and not have to drive all the way down here. As you can see, we got up the hill. But real quick, Frankfurt is all the way over here. We were up in Berlin. It would have taken us probably another 45 minutes to an hour just to drive down to Frankfurt. And it's faster to just save the restarted save file and just load ourselves in Frankfurt rather than having to do that. So now we're going to drive out into the middle of the field here, which we aren't supposed to be doing. And again, full credit to iManuBAD IT. I will drop a link to the walkthrough on TrueAchievements and to their YouTube page in my description if you guys and gals want to go give them a follow and like their video about this glitch. I am not taking any responsibility for this. I am just kind of ordering everything in a quick and easy to follow order so that you can get the achievements if you so desire. But we're going to cut through this grove of trees over here. Once we get over here, we're going to slow down a little bit and just go to the right. You can kind of see there's some whiteness in the sand there. When we get up here, we just fall right through the map. Just sit here for a couple seconds. You don't have to do anything with the rubber bands or anything yet. After a few seconds, everything is going to reset on you. There we go. Once it has done this, you need to activate the ignition, and that's all you need to do. You don't need to add your driver card. It's telling you in the upper left, add your driver card. You don't need to do that. What I recommend doing now is going into third-person view and just rubber banding your right analog. And this is what it's going to do, and this is what it's going to look like for 60 hours or so. Now, you can test this if you really want to, and see if, at this point, pop onto your computer, sign into your gamer tag on the PC or Xbox 360 or anywhere else you can test if you can play games or not, if you want to avoid that, or avoid screwing it up 30 hours in if you have a hankering to play moving out on the PC or whatever. But you just need to be careful that whatever you're doing will not affect your gameplay here, because you're going to be online for 60 hours just spinning like this with your right analog rubber banded. So again, use a wired controller so that the controller never disconnects, and you need to use a rubber band on your right analog so that the game doesn't pause, because even with the controller running or controller plugged in, eventually the game will pause itself. So you do need to rubber band the right analog, and you do need to have a wired controller so that the controller has power for the entire time. Once that you're done, you're done. This is what it's going to look like for 60 hours. The first achievement will approximately take 50 minutes or so to an hour to unlock. The second one took 12 hours for me. It was almost exactly 12 hours for the 100,000 kilometer achievement. And then it was, and let me just double check to make sure I got this number right. Because I don't want to give you guys and gals the wrong information. I'm sorry, I had the wrong notes open. So I started my glitch at 3:45 p.m. on September 23rd, which was a Thursday, and I unlocked the 500,000 kilometer achievement at midnight Sunday morning, or Saturday night, whatever you want to refer to that as. So it was 56 hours and 15 minutes or so, approximately, to unlock the 500,000 kilometer achievement. So that's entirely up to you. And again, I don't think it is completely accurate. Unfortunately, once again, the GPS disappeared for some reason. So you can't even see the 500 or the miles per hour thing. But the miles per hour thing are maxed out at 200 or kilometers per hour, excuse me. I think you're going significantly faster than that, but I think that's the highest that the kilometer gauge can show. So, in theory, if it took 12 hours to get the 100K achievement, it should take exactly 60 hours to get the 500K achievement, but it didn't work like that. So I'm not really sure if my estimate is, a good estimate for what you might experience. It might unlock faster, it might unlock slower. I think it's kind of random how this works, so I can't give you an exact estimate. I can just give you the time stamps that happened for me, and hopefully it will work out better for you. But that's what you're going to do, ladies and gents. If you keep popping in to check on what your truck is doing, eventually it just turns into a blur. By hour 55 or 50, I think it was unrecognizable as a truck. It was just a blur of colors, and so yeah, this is borked. If you need to do anything else, that's why we save this for last, because you cannot continue on this level once you have done this. Or save file. You can start a new game if you want, but and that's it, ladies and gents. After 60 hours, you should unlock, and will unlock, so God willing the game doesn't, mess up on you, but you will unlock all of your achievements. You'll have 28 achievements for 1,000 gamer score, and again, credit to iManuBAD IT, who came up with the ideas for this walkthrough. I just kind of changed a couple of them for myself and what worked for me, but I do want to give all the credit to them. I will once again drop a link to the walkthrough that they published on TrueAchievements and the channel where they have their glitch video uploaded so that you can check out their stuff as well. But if you have any questions or comments for me, as always, let me know down below and I'll do my best to answer them. But if not, there's another 1000G for you guys and gals. I do appreciate the likes, shares, subscriptions, all that fun stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video.